Hello everyone, I'm Mohammed Ba-Aoum and my friend Mohammed Alrezq, and we'll be happy to present our research project titled Predicting Student Self-Efficacy in Muslim Societies Using Machine Learning Methods. This is the outline for our presentation. First, we'll give an introduction about the topic, then we'll present the research purpose, research roadmap, experimental data analysis, and we'll explain machine learning methodologies. And after that, we'll present the predictive model results, and we'll conclude with a conclusion and future work. Self-efficacy refers to the belief in someone's ability to perform a particular task or behavior. Research indicates that self-efficacy can enhance student achievement, increase emotional health and well-being, as well as serve as a dependable predictor of motivation and learning. Students with high level of self-efficacy also participate more in class, work harder, persist longer, and have fewer negative emotional reaction when faced with difficulties than students with low self-efficacy. Numerous studies investigated self-efficacy as a potential predictor of academic achievement, student performance, as well as well-being. However, few modeling studies have treated self-efficacy as a primary variable to be predicted. So the aim of this study is to investigate the self-efficacy of students in Muslim societies using machine learning techniques. More specifically, the study intends to predict student self-efficacy utilizing a holistic set of factors, including psychological competencies, problem-solving skill, religious and spirituality, as well as demographic variable, including region and gender. Some implication of this study is the ability to identify students with self-efficacy level, to develop self-efficacy improvement intervention for students with low self-efficacy. And now my friend Mohammed will present the research roadmap.
The first step in this study is to obtain the data set. The study used a survey data that was collected by the International Institute of Islamic Thoughts in 2019-22 for advancing education in Muslim societies. And then the second stage is to do the data wrangling, which is basically we're trying to clean the data and tight it before we proceed with it. Select a participant of interest. In the study, we only focus on school students, and also determine the variable of interest related to the characteristics of the selected participants. The third step is to develop some summaries descriptive for the variables and the targeted variable. Also check the internal consistency using Cronbach alpha and testing the correlation among the predictors and between the predictors and the targeted variable. And finally, we develop supervised machine learning to predict the student self-efficacy, evaluating model performance, and finally identifying the important variables. This slide basically shows the entire variables that we use in the study. In total, we had 13 variables that include 11 variables that were measured using a different number of items, and 2 categorical variables that include region and gender. This study used a data size of 6,424 school students with the age of less than 18 years. On the lower left side of the slide, we can see the distribution of participants per gender. We can see that female is around 4,000, while the male is around 2,500. On the right side of the slide, we can see the distribution of the participant across 6 regions based on gender. And we can see that South Asia has the highest number of participants, while MENA has the lowest number of participants. And the slide shows the correlation and summary statistics in addition to Cronbach alpha. In terms of the correlation among variables, it seems the correlation between variables and the targeted variables are to be moderate to lower level. And the summary statistics shows that most of the variables tend to be at the lower level based on the Likert scale with a mean of a 3 and more, except CIO and forgiveness, which they had a mean of 2.6 and 2.3 respectively. In terms of the Cronbach alpha, all the constructs had exceeded the lower threshold, which is 0.6, except the gratitude, which it was very close to 0.6, but we kept it in the study to study more factors and understand more about factors related to student self-efficacy. And now Mohammed will continue with the machine learning.
Machine learning is a form of artificial intelligence that enables a system to learn from data rather than through explicit programming. It uses a variety of algorithms that iteratively learn from data to improve, describe, and predict outcomes. Machine learning approaches are usually categorized as supervised, unsupervised learning, and deep learning. This study used supervised and deep learning machine learning algorithms to predict student self-efficacy. The algorithm that has been used include 3-tree-based algorithm, decision tree, random forest, as well as extreme gradient boosting, abbreviated as XGBoost. And we used also one deep learning algorithm, which is called neural network, and now we'll briefly describe each one of these algorithms. Decision tree-based machine learning approach perform classification and prediction tasks by building a tree-like structures for deciding the target variable class or value according to certain feature. Each node of a decision tree represents a possible outcome based on the likelihood of the outcome occurring. The simplest form of decision tree-based algorithm is decision tree, which use a single decision tree by fitting training data. Another more complex algorithm is random forest, which create a number of decision tree models at the same time using a simple approach called bagging. And then another also complex approach called XGBoosting, which build multiple decision tree one by one iteratively to enable the model to learn multiple times from the outcome of previous model. A neural network is considered a deep learning approach. A neural network's data relationship is established through highly interconnected simulated neurons that accept input and then apply weighing coefficients and feed their output to other neurons, which continue the process through the network to eventually predict an outcome. And now my friend Mohammed will present the result of the 4 machine learning predictive model that we developed.
This slide summarizes the result of the 4 predictive models Mohammed just described previously, including decision tree, random forest, XGBoost, and neural network. And it could be clear that the 3 decision tree-based model have or tend to have the same agreement in terms of the important variables, including self-regulation, sense of belonging, and problem solving. However, in the study, we also developed neural network to understand more about the factor and self-efficacy using a different algorithm approach. So we can see based on the neural network, the level of importance across all the variables seems to be higher comparing to the decision tree-based models. And however, when it comes to data science, we evaluate the different model using different metrics. And in this study, we used a R-square and residual mean square error to evaluate which of the model has the best performance. And based on the model performance, we can see that random forest has the highest R-square with a value of 0.38 and the lowest residual mean square error with a value of 0.32. This study aimed to predict student self-efficacy using machine learning by utilizing a wider set of factors that covered psychological competencies, problem solving, religious and spirituality, and in addition to more demographic variables, including region and gender. 4 machine learning models were developed to examine the important variables, followed by evaluating which of the models is best performed. Based on the result, random forest seems to be outperformed the other models, and 4 variables were most important, including self-regulation, problem solving, and sense of belonging. However, 3 variable that seems to not have any significance, including emotional regulation, gender, and religious and spirituality. Future work for this study could be considered more other factors related to self-efficacy, such as parents' educational levels and mental and psychological health, to get more insight about factors related to self-efficacy and perhaps improve the model performance. With that, thank you very much.